Hey guys, it's Nolan. Hope you're doing well. So let's have a look at a few charts of interest at the moment. It's Wednesday, 20th of April, 2022. About 9:45 in the morning. Let me just have a quick look at the news actually before we go any further. See what's coming out. Make sure you do this, guys, every day. Make sure you're aware of any high priority news that's coming out that particular day. We've got some CAD news at 1:30 p.m. Remember, these are UK times, 1:30 p.m. And NZD, New Zealand, 11:45 p.m. CPI news. So nothing until 1:30 on the CAD. So that is cool. Aussie and Kiwi are showing a little bit of strength this morning during the London session. Just having a little look at the Aussie dollar on the daily chart. If I just take off these moving averages, you can actually see price bouncing off this daily trend line. Looking bullish at the moment, and you would expect this to push on. Now, I am just a little bit wary of the fact that these moving averages have crossed over, which can be the sign of a change of momentum. As you can see here, where it bounced off the trend line, the moving averages were in the correct order for an uptrend with the 8 above the 20, and since they crossed here, they've basically remained in the correct order as price moved to the upside, the 8 above the 20, the black above the blue. But now we've had them cross over. So is this the actual start of some downside for Aussie dollar? It's very, very interesting because you've got the moving averages potentially saying that, okay, well, price could be changing direction here from this uptrend into a down move, a downtrend. But you've also got price bouncing off this trend line support as well. So very, very interesting one indeed. And I think how this daily candle closes could give us a sign. If we can have a bullish close above the 20 moving average, then that's going to be a good sign for upside. But this daily candle still got 12 hours to go. It could look totally different by the end of the day. It could, this bullish momentum here, what we're seeing 1, 2 back into the moving averages, could actually be just a correction. So I'm going to be watching this. I'm not actually going to be jumping into this chart yet, but I will be watching to see how this develops. Is this the start of a new move to the upside, or are these moving averages giving us what we'd call a heads up of what potentially is happening? So that's something I'm going to keep my eyes on, and that's something you can keep your eyes on too. If we do see continued bullish momentum, then we can get long. But is this a false, not a false move, but is this just a pullback into the averages before we see price drop? Certainly, if we see price drop below these lows and this, I would say these lows actually below this low here, so just under 73.50. If we see price under there, then I'd expect further downside, and looking at first targets around about these lows here, around about 72,000, depending on how you want to see it. So just monitor this one for the moment, but certainly, I'm actually going to place an alert here just in case. I'm just going to put swing low broken, because now the reason why I'm questioning this move here, and are we going to see more upside? Not just because of the moving averages have crossed, but because I'm looking at, or I have looked at, Kiwi USD as well. Now this one has actually broken the daily trend line. Okay, we saw, if you have a look, we saw the moving averages cross, sort of bullish candle, and then we saw this bearish engulfing candle, and it's led to further downside. So if anything, Kiwi is kind of leading the way, and we are seeing, like I say, we're seeing a bullish Aussie dollar, a bullish Kiwi dollar this morning. But with Kiwi, this could just be a pullback into the moving averages. Okay, that momentum is now to the downside. Trend line broken, EMAs crossed over on the daily. So what you're seeing here on the hourly, we've got a high and a higher high, is potentially just this correction into the moving averages. So I would be looking for sellers to potentially start stepping in here. One of the things that I look for in a trend on the daily, using my moving averages, which are always the 20 and the 8, is for price to pull back at least into that 8 moving average before looking for a trend continuation, and that's where price is at the moment. So this is a great area to start looking for potentially reversal on Kiwi dollar. So reversal meaning reversal of this up move here, and sellers come in line with the daily momentum. Now, it depends on what time frame you want to be looking at. Whether you want to drop into the 15 or the 5 minute, whatever works for you, whatever time frame you can watch. Obviously, the earlier the time frame, or the smaller the time frame, I should say, the kind of earlier the move, and the quicker you can kind of get into the trade, and potentially a bigger reward to risk. So if we see the 5 minute, what's called rollover, or the sellers come in and we see the 5 minute change trend, then potentially you could trade that 5 minute market, looking for price to then have a decent move to the downside, a daily move back into, well, where could this go to? That is a question. I mean, we've got the support here at 65.50. There's also, potentially 67 here. I can just see a few tips of the wicks just kind of into that area, but yeah, definitely one to watch, especially where price is at the moment. So keep your eyes on Kiwi dollar, looking for reversal. You can also draw in the trend line there if you wish, and look for price to start breaking down below the trend line. There's several ways to get into a trade, but either way, you want to start to see sellers take control of this market if you're looking to sell, and you want to see lower lows, lower highs. Something we have been waiting for, feels like a bit of an eternity, is some strength in the pound. Mark, I'm pretty sure Mark would do a bit of an in-depth YouTube video on the pound, on GBP, as to why we should be looking for buys on this particular currency. But just want to show you pound USD and where we are. We're at the bottom of this descending channel. Now, price moves in waves. It moves in cycles. So what I mean by that is you'll have a down move, an up move, a down move, an up move, a down move, an up move, a down move, etc. Basically, what is happening here is that the sellers are more in control of the market. Why is that? Because these highs are getting lower, and these lows are also getting lower. So sellers are in control of the market at the moment, but even after a selling move, okay, we would expect to see a correction. We've got this selling move here. We've seen a correction. We've got this selling move went all the way down here. We saw this correction. We've had this selling move here. Okay, it's moved down, had a little correction, nothing big though, and it's coming. It's testing, as you can see, this little level here, 1.3. Big number, psychological number, big number. And what we are looking for is price to start to reverse on this, and some GBP strength to come into the market and potentially push it up towards 134. Okay, so now GBP USD might not be your currency pair of choice. You can look at other GB pairs as well, because if we are going to see that GBP strength throughout the market, then it might be worth looking at trading it against a weak currency. For instance, off the top of my head, if Kiwi dollar is dropping and we're seeing a weaker Kiwi, and we suddenly see pound strength in the market. And you know, the way we can look at pound strength is we can get our pound pairs together, and we'll be seeing all of these with pound as the first part of the currency pair. All of these would be green up on the day. Okay, now at the moment, pound Aussie, pound CAD, pound Swiss, pound yen, pound Kiwi. Did I say that right? Pound Aussie, pound CAD, pound Swiss, pound yen, pound Kiwi. They're all, this is up on the day, but these are down on the day. See, they're all red and they're all minus. They're all down on the day. Euro GBP is up on the day, but this has pound as the second part of the currency pair. So this means that at the moment, pound is only stronger than the USD at the moment. You can see it's up about 28 pips on the day. 28 points up, 0.22%. Now, if we start to see a big push on GBP and the market start to buy GBP impulsively, if you like, then we're going to see all of these pairs, they're all going to be green. Okay, we're all going to be up on the day. Euro GBP should be red, should be down on the day. Okay, that's what I want to see before I start really getting involved in GBP. Once we start seeing that, then it's just a case of matching that GBP strength against a weaker currency. So yeah, what would stand out to me today if we were seeing GBP strength would be pound Kiwi, because we've got a weak Kiwi, and if we had GBP strength, then this would be up on the day, and it would be a great currency pair to trade, because one is strong and one is weak, and that is the key to trading. When you are, that's why you get trending markets. When you pair a strong currency against a weak currency, you will have a trend. Okay, so I'm just waiting on the sidelines. I'm being a little bit patient at the moment. We are expecting GBP strength to come in, but it's just not coming in at the moment. But where pound USD is at the moment, around about 1.3, we'll be looking for this to start pushing to the upside. Let me just put my moving averages back on for a second. Yeah, you can see we're not just seeing it. We had this, I don't know what happened here actually. We had this big push to the upside, which kind of got us all thinking, okay, this is the move. And then that move just died off and we've started to see sellers again. So what you could also look out for, as well as, you know, looking at the pound pairs and looking at the, you know, the strength and weakness here, you could also potentially look for a break of, I'm just seeing this trend line here, and not just a break of the trend line, because, you know, if I was to look at, for instance, I could have drawn this trend line here with that high and that high. Price broke out of that trend line, came back to retest it, had a little bullish candle, but then, you know, pushed underneath it. So what I want to see is, you know, continued higher highs, higher lows, not just a break of this trend line. Obviously, we've got that swing high here. I want to see it break past 131.50, but I want to see continual higher highs, higher lows, okay, before I start getting involved with this. But like I say, get your pound pairs together on your, you know, your trading software. If all of these pound pairs where they've got pound as what we call the base, the first part of the currency pair, if they're all these pairs here are green, Euro GBP should be red, then we are seeing strength in GBP, okay, and that would be a great time to start buying the pound. So this is just one we are monitoring anyway. It's in a lovely area, like I say, at the bottom of this channel, expecting the price to correct within the channel. Back up towards 134, you can see that that swing low there, around about that 134 level. Bit of patience needed. NASDAQ, potentially an inverse head and shoulder pattern here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Just want to show you, I often talk about the NASDAQ, but monthly, you know, bullish market, as most of the indexes are. We've had these tweezer top candles here, so push down, first candle was bearish, second one bullish. And that's a good sign that we can expect to see some upside. So we're just waiting for confirmation that this correction into the monthly moving averages is over, and we're going to see buyers again. So let's just go back to the daily. What chart was on first of all? Yeah, the 4 hour, potentially starting to see a shift. Maybe we've got the left shoulder head, right shoulder. What would be nice actually is if price came and retested 1400 and rejected. And I say that because that is where we got a little bit of 4 hour resistance. If price could come back into this zone, reject, and then what I'm looking for then is price to start to break above these highs. Okay, so you can see here around about 12th of April and here 14th of April, price is finding resistance here for whatever reason. So if we start to break and close above this zone, we can look for a little retest and rejection. So I'd be looking for a morning star pattern, for instance, and this would be a great opportunity to get along this market. Looking at the monthly time frame, which is bullish. This is basically a correction on the monthly time frame. We want to start to see buyers take control of the market, get involved nice and early, and then listen, we could be trading this up to, well, who knows where, because I suspect, and I've said this many a time before on my analysis of the NASDAQ, once it starts trending again and we start seeing buyers in control, this could make all-time highs. So definitely want to have a look at. So keep your eyes on 1400. If we maybe place an alert, if we come into that little zone there and we start to see buyers coming on a smaller time frame, could be a great opportunity, trending it back up into this level here, and then see what happens. Okay, do we break through this level? Because this level is key. We want to see price close above this level. And we want to see the moving averages. Look at these moving averages here. Absolutely lovely on the 4 hour. We've got gapping, separation, angle. Absolutely beautiful. That's what I want to see. They've started to cross here. Is this the early sign? One more chart I'm going to look at, and I don't normally look at this, is WTI oil, but I had a little look at it this morning, and this is looking very, very much like a bearish correction pattern. So or a bearish flag pattern. Would expect this to break to the downside. Basically, it's a correction after an impulse. So just keep your eyes on this. I mean, WTI isn't normally something that I trade personally, but it's just like a chart like anything else. So yeah, keep your eyes on this, because if we can close below this, what we call a counter trend line, then potentially that is the start of the next impulse down. Now oil, as you can see, can move quite quickly, so you may need to set an alert. I would suggest setting an alert actually somewhere below this tip of the wick here. Maybe if I set an alert there. So I've set an alert below this low here, below this trend line. I've set it around 102.83. If we can have an hourly close below that trend line, that could be the potential move down, the next move down. Where could this go to? Well, you can see we've come into this 108 zone here where we found resistance here. Look, we had a move down, and we found resistance here again. We've got an evening star pattern here on the daily. So 100, big number, would be the next level I'd be looking at, and then below that 96. I'll just show you how I found those levels, just in case you didn't spot them. Got these tips, the wicks here, look. Support, it could be support again. So that would be my first target. And then we've got this little zone here where we also found support. So that's around 96. And the first one is around 100. So if this breaks, close below, then I'd be looking to take first targets or first profits around about that 100 mark. So yeah, look out for oil to drop, and yeah, we got that CAD news later, haven't we? CPI news at 1:30 p.m. CAD and oil are you can often see a correlation between them, so we could see oil drop a little bit later on. Keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on the NASDAQ 1400 morning star pattern, or a test and a rejection. If that doesn't happen, then we're looking for a break above 14.3 and a retest. Pound USD, just be very, very patient on this, but we are looking for upside. Kiwi, Potentially we've broken, well, we have broken the trend line up potentially. Moving averages are crossed over. Looking at this as a correction into the market, into the moving averages, just like this was. Look for the smaller time frames to start rolling over, and we see lower lows, lower highs. Aussie, keeping my eyes on this. Is this a correction? And we're going to see further downside. I've got my alert set below here, just because I think Kiwi could be setting the standard, if you like, leading the way, and we might see Aussie follow afterwards. All right, guys, hope that all made sense, and yeah, I will catch you in the next video.